What's good, YouTube? It's Adam from I'm Using Mobile. Welcome to a brand new video. Today we're gonna go ahead and remake from scratch 21 Savage's Sneaky. The tempo for this one is 155 beats per minute, and the track is produced by Coupe. We're gonna start off with that main melody bell sound, so let's get to it. Let's go ahead and bring in Logic's Alchemy, and we're gonna bring in a preset here. I'm just gonna search it up. It's called Gentle Sine Bells. Let's bring that in here. Let's draw in the pattern, and then we'll get to some sound design. Alright, so there's the melody that pretty much loops itself throughout the entire track. Now let's go ahead and open up Alchemy and get to some sound design. First thing we're going to do is going to push this performance over down to the saturated bell. Take a listen to how it changes up the sound. Pull down the cutoff. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to add in a little bit of analog noise. Let's go to distortion, bit crusher. We're going to use the default setting that loads up. We're just going to push up the resolution to 10 bits and pull down the drive so it's not adding some distortion, and you're just going to get this hiss sound. See that hiss sound? That's a little too much. Let's bring that down a bit. Let's bring in Logic's Fat Effects, and we're just going to add in a little bit of saturation here. Let's leave everything as is. Let's take out the bass enhancer, and we're just going to pull up the saturation here. And we'll leave it as is. We're going to pull up a little bit of drive here. Next, let's soften up that sound with some chorus. We'll go over to modulation chorus. Softens that sound up a bit. Now we got to put that in a space. Let's bring in Logic's Space Designer. We'll go to Reverb Space Designer. Now I'm going to bring in a texture within Logic's Space Designer. Basically uses a bunch of impulse responses to give you sort of that space that you want to be in. Let's go over to our preset browser here. We're going to go over to Warped Effects. We'll go to Textures. A really good and easy way to add textures to any sound. And we're going to go over to the preset called Shattered Pieces. The last thing we're going to do is just bring in EQ and just clean this up a bit. All right, next, let's get to the drums. I'm creating a new software instrument track. I'm going over to my browser over here, and I'm going to go to the deconstructed kit I put together for the American Dream album. I'll place that link down below if you're interested in the drum sounds from 21 Savage's American Dream. We're going to go over to the track Sneaky. They're all organized by track. And let's go ahead and bring in the snare. Bring that into, actually, let's just bring it all in together at the same time because we're going to use them all. Drag it in, and we'll go to Drum Machine Designer. Logic will create a Drum Machine Designer track for us, and let's go put in the snare first. So the snare pattern goes like this. It's pretty much on the 3 the entire way. Let's just duplicate this so it's over 4 bars. And you get that second snare hit over there. Now for the snare in the original track, the snare was a little wider. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go bring in modulation. It's off my screen here. We're going to go to spreader. We'll go to stereo spread. That's just going to widen up that snare just like the original track. Next, let's bring in our hi-hat pattern. It's basically a 2-step. Except we have a roll in there. So we're going to go over to change this over to note repeat. And over here, it's going to do 3 times. For the 808, there are 2 patterns. Let's get to the first one. That's basically just going to duplicate itself. Except we have to open up the quick sampler and just make sure our 808s are hitting in mono. Now the 808s are ringing a little too long, so we got to change our quick sampler mode to classic so that we control the length with our MIDI. So I'm going to change it over to classic, and it's going to only go as long as my note plays out. Except I want it to ring out a little bit, so let's pull up the release. Maybe a little bit more than that. All right, so that's pattern A. Let's get to pattern B. So that right there is pattern B. Now we just got to apply some effects to this 808. So we're going to go ahead and just play with everything. I'm going to bring in Logic's Fat Effects once again. We're going to turn off everything here. We're just going to pull up some saturation on it. Apply some gentle soft clipping to it. All right, so there's the drums right there. If you are wondering why I applied some processes and effects to the deconstructed samples from the album, that's because I want to give you the actual samples used, and I didn't want to apply any of these effects to it so that it could be used for any track. This is very specific to this track, these processes, so I just want to keep it clean for you guys. Next, let's go ahead and just duplicate this over, and we just got to put in a single pad that sort of builds up some tension in the track. Create a new software instrument track. And once again, we are going to go bring in Logic's Alchemy. We are going to go over for vocals for this pad sound, and we're going to bring in the Angelic Ghosts preset. Let's go ahead and just close that out and draw in the pattern. It's really just 1 chord. I'm just going to repeat that. The only thing we got to do is make this darker. So let's open up Logic's Alchemy, and we'll bring down the cutoff here. And that's pretty much the beat right there. Next, I'm just going to mix this. When we come back, we'll take a listen to the final remake, 21 Savage's Sneaky, remade in Logic Pro. out there. I'm gonna go ahead and save this entire session for you, place it as a downloadable link below this video. If you don't use Logic, I got your back as well. I'm gonna go ahead and save all the MIDI stems, audio stems, and of course include the drum kit that you heard in this remake. You can find that playback down below this video. If you have any questions on this or just want to chat, let's go and talk in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one later. Peace.